In this video today, I'm going to try and convince you of why you need to build a language system and exactly how you can start doing that, all right? So the very first thing, why are we doing this? Also, apologies, my handwriting is so horrendously bad, I should probably be put in jail for it. The reason that you want to build a language system is because you are after results. It's perfectly fine if you're one of those people who wants to dabble in languages here, there, and the other, and you're not really trying to learn, you're just trying to have some fun doing it. That's perfectly fine. All right. Our students, the ones who come in and take artificial immersion and taking the courses or taking artificial immersion intense, have real solid goals, things that they want and need to do, and they have to build a system around this. Do not get it twisted. It is very hard unless you are living in a place where you are going to immerse yourself truly. And I mean, like, you don't have any sort of chance or relation to speak or understand anything other than your target language. If you're not doing that, then that's why artificially creating that immersion makes sense and why you need to have a goal. All right. So if you're after results, this is the reason that you should probably be thinking about building a language system. The next thing, and I'm not going to write this out. All right, fine. I'll do it. We have to automate. That's the beauty of having a system. All right. And I'm going to obviously define what I mean by a language system here in a second, but I just want to convince you guys of why would getting results and having things automated, that would be an amazing thing, wouldn't it? Right? Well, we can't do that for you. We need your help in doing that. Right? And that's why there isn't a perfect method. It doesn't exist. We are all different. We all have different mother tongues, different dialects. We have different ways of learning, different backgrounds. It doesn't exist. We have some rules and principles for things that we know to avoid. So please check out all of those videos. I mean, we'll put it up right here, all right, or down in the description. And there are some things that would be best for you to pay attention to and spend your time doing. And if you can hover in these areas and create a system that makes sure that you're spending your time, your 80-20, doing the good things and avoiding the bad, you're gonna have results. It is guaranteed. That is just how it works, all right? And so automating this is gonna help you tremendously because you don't wanna spend all of your time. Every single second you have is so precious. And everyone in this world is either busy or fighting their attention from social media or whatever it is that they've got going on, but mainly from trying to just pay attention because you've got crap going on. You don't want to sit down and you don't want to have to look and figure out, what do I do today? Like, what should I do and why? Why should I do that one? You're just going to constantly be confused. All right. And so we don't want that. The very last thing that we want, or why we want it, is because it is going to create change. You cannot learn, that is awful E. Horrendous, hideous. Can't even continue. The lecture can't continue until we fix this E because it's that bad. I apologize. I don't care at all. Deal with it. That's my handwriting. I can't, whatever. I can't draw either. So let's not get me going. Let's do it. Let's go. Here we go. Stick figure. All right, there we go. Boom. What's this guy? He's happy. He's got a little nose. Bam. Arms. Leg out there. He's running. What do we got here? Huh? We can do a flower? Can I do a flower? Is that a flower? Little stems here. It's going to the ground. Hey, I'm not that bad. I don't know what that is. What was that? What is that? Did I forget? Am I crazy? I don't know what that is. Oh, is that a ball? I think they're a ball or something like that. Huh? Get a little stuff going on in here. Whatever. Guys, I don't know. Honest to God. What are we doing? Probably should have left this up here. Anyway. You will not be able to start speaking your target language if you're going to hang on so tightly and so dearly to your native tongue. You are going to have to change. And that change doesn't just look like a change in your mentality, it also looks like a change in your habits. You're going to have to change. And it's not talked about enough in language learning, but the people who are successful, the ones that end up artificially immersing themselves when they can't move to Spain or China or France or whatever, Morocco, like, it's because they changed. You can change at home. There's nothing and no reason. And I know because we always look at the stats, so I'm always thinking of who is it that I'm talking to. We're all adults here. You know very well when you got fit, when you did this, when you studied to get your stuff, you changed. You know your habits changed. And if you really want to do this, you really want to learn a language, you're going to have to change. And this is why you want to build that system. Okay. Now, when we're going over here, we have to have a base of a system. And I hope you guys can see this. I think you can. All right. What will I do and what works? These are the two questions that you're going to have to be asking yourself. What will I do and what works? That's when we're talking about your base. That's when we're talking about input. Because in artificial immersion, at the very beginning, we're talking about the beginning, all right? We'll get to what happens with output in another video, but we're gonna start here at the beginning just to not to overload you guys with too much info. I wanna read every single book that's ever been put out, but that's probably not gonna happen. What will I do? What can I commit to now? Now we're getting to the base of our system. How are we gonna build this? We need a foundation. The foundation is probably going to be input, contextual learning. Contextual learning through stories is even better, all right? But at least contextual learning. That means no lists, no flashcards necessarily, none of this stuff to really get. When we're getting going, we want to have context. I want to know, I want to see this. I want to see, oh, a pen. What does the pen do, right? It writes. Oh, cool. Well, pens and writing are linked to each other, and I can see that even though I didn't know. I am writing, right? So you want that in as your base, all right? But what will I do? All right. What that means specifically is in your contextual learning, is it going to be reading? Is it going to be watching a video? Is it going to be listening to a podcast? Is it small clips? Are they a bit longer? Right? Do you have them assessed and made sure that they are at your level? Because what matters isn't that they said that I needed to get 30 minutes of this and 20 minutes of that and 15 minutes of that. No, what matters is what will I do? What will I actually commit to? I will start with this. I wish I could read every single thing that's ever been made out there, but I can't. So what will I commit to? All right. Now, you also have to measure that against what works. You guys have probably seen some of the podcasts and interviews that we've done with some of the great linguists, and the research is still out there on whether it's possible to just be an auditory learner or a visual learner and all these different things. I'm not going to get into that. But what matters is that you understand yourself, all right? And that's entirely what this entire method overall, and you building the system, is that you are going to learn yourself. And in learning yourself, you're going to start hacking your brain and you're going to start knowing what works, all right? And so when you're talking about your input, am I reading? Am I listening? Am I watching? Which one seems to be better for me? Which one do I commit to? And which one works? You have to measure that, because it doesn't really matter if you only want to read, if you just keep falling asleep and you're not actually assimilating any of the words. Then I don't care that that's not working, right? You need to stay up and, oh, okay, well, watching this keeps my attention, right? And it turns out that I when I test myself to speak, seems that I can actually communicate. Boom, now we found something here. Now it's time to double down on that, right? And extend that out a little bit more, right? That's a very important thing. I said I wasn't gonna touch on output, but I guess it really does make sense for me to at least put something in here because we are talking about our system. When we're talking about output, you have to have strands. You're gonna have strands, right? What's over here? On my output, I'm going to speak. All right, cool. That's one way for you to do that. Over here, let's put this so it looks cool. I'm going to write. All right, and over here, we are going to, let's get this in here. We are going to do a monologue. What a horrendous G, good God. You disgust me with your handwriting, my God. These are gonna be the versions of the output that we're deciding to do, okay? There are other ways, right? I can keep delineating from here, right? The essays, are they just little sentences? Am I speaking to myself? Am I speaking in my head, right? Am I speaking to someone else? And the tutor, and so there's a whole bunch of things, which is why I wanted to put that in another video, but I just want you to get an idea of how you're going to be doing this. I didn't draw out these for the input with reading, with watching, with listening, but you guys get the point, all right? And so now that we have this system and we have an understanding of how I'm going to be actively recalling the stuff that I'm learning over here, this is why you want to build your own system, okay? And I'm gonna go on a wild tangent, but it's not long, so follow me here down this. Bruce Lee, all right? His entire method is called Jeet Kune Do. He didn't want to name it because he wanted it to be able to adapt. We all know the great Bruce Lee quotes. Throw it up there. Okay, be like water.
You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
The reason he wants this is because he wants it to be adaptable. And that's not what you're getting in all of the lessons and things that you're getting from most of the apps and blah, 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 right? AI is trying to come along and help us. And I really will, I promise, I've been saying this for a while. We will do a deep dive into AI and things that you need to do, honestly, right? And that we do, because it is very helpful, but there are some things that are definitely detrimental to your language learning within AI as well. All right. But what he wanted out of his entire method, let's call it that, what he wanted out of Jeet Kune Do was the ability to always be ready for any circumstance, for any action at any time. Which is why he didn't even want to name it, because once you name it, it has to be clarified. It is this. He wanted it to just simply be, right? The way, right? It's a bit of a philosophical tangent and all of this stuff, but it goes to tell you that your system has to be adaptable to you and adaptable to the circumstances that you're in order for you to do this. It's going to change a little bit with language, but I guarantee you, this is why artificial immersion in our course, this is why I'm so proud of it, because it's going to teach you to not need me. Okay? That is what I had always been looking for, and that's what we've created. I want you to go learn this, and then I want you to tell me to fuck off. Okay? Screw off. I learned it now. I get it. I'm going to check in every once in a while to make sure that I'm adapted to the right things, see what else we've learned and come on, right? But once you have these principles and you've internalized this stuff, you don't need anybody, right? You guys, you'll simply be out there learning the language, testing it yourself, and then taking that data and feedback and then testing in the real world, which is part of what we told you, that the people that use it, you have to actually want results. If you don't want to do anything, you're not going to half-ass it. Like, dude, I don't care. That is not our fault. That is you, okay? Come in, do the method, listen. You know, we have strict rules. In the first 7 days of our course, we tell you exactly what it is that you have to avoid. I hope for the love of God that you guys have taken at least something out of this and understanding, right? We have tons of different free materials and things like that you guys can check out right down below. If you want to go deeper into building a system, if you guys want me to make more of this, if you want me to go deep into a certain topic, you know, shoot some of that down in the comments. Like, guys, we have tons of channels. I know most people have absolutely no idea. I'm just some random psycho screaming at you and telling you not to do Duolingo on the internet. But we have several different channels. Not all of them are all in language learning. You guys can go down the rabbit holes if you want to. But for this channel specifically, especially because it's small, especially because I can tell that we've definitely created a community of people who actually want to learn. They're only interested in like how can I learn? How can I start like that I love. So if you have other topics and other things right there, go down there. Even if you're not a person who comments very much on this video specifically, I will go and check and we'll try and figure that out. And if we can put that up here and start getting you guys videos and stuff like this, we will. Peace out.